Welcome everyone to your weekly pick a card reading for Monday the 5th to Sunday the 11th of September, or for whenever you come across this reading, for the messages are timeless. Thank you for joining me, and I hope that these messages will resonate and will guide you in the week ahead. Okay everyone, we have pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3 and pile number 4. We have a clear quartz for pile number 1, an amethyst for pile number 2, a citrine for pile number 3 and a green selenite for pile number 4. So as usual, just select a pile that resonates with you, that you feel drawn to, a pile number that you feel drawn to, or a crystal that you feel drawn to. And if you feel drawn to more than one pile, watch as many piles as you like. There'll be a message in there for you. Let's get started. Welcome pile number 1 to your weekly reading. Let's have a look at what messages Spirit has for you this week. We have the 7 of Swords, the 3 of Pentacles, the Ace of Wands. We have create healthy boundaries with those around you, Giraffe Spirit, and self-love. Okay. Okay, pile number 1. Your first card is create healthy boundaries with those around you. Now, I always feel inclined to say boundaries are not walls. So we don't use boundaries as a way of protecting ourselves. We don't use boundaries as a way of building walls to prevent others from coming close to us. And I don't know why I'm drawn to say that to you, pile number 1, but take that as it resonates. So your boundaries are things that you need in order to be you. So what do I mean by that? If you need quiet, then you will request, if you live with other people, for them, if they can just give you some time out, if they can just maybe turn off the TV, turn off the music, and just give you a chance to collect your thoughts. If they could give you an hour where they don't come and disturb you, if you can just shut the door without them being offended, without them thinking anything of it, just because you need your own space, you need time just to yourself, that's a boundary. You know, it might be even in what you eat, when you eat. You might be watching your weight, you might be watching your intake of sugar or whatever it might be. And then you'll set your boundary with your partner or with your family and say, look, this is what I'm trying to do. Don't bring sweets, desserts, cakes, biscuits into the house if you can, because I know I'll be tempted. So can we try and work this out together? Can you help me? You know, those are boundaries. Boundaries are the way that we tell people straight up, with no malice, no hatred, no blocking of energy, what we need and what we're trying to do. Boundaries actually open us up to those around us. Boundaries lets people know what you expect of them. It lets people know where you're at and what you're trying to achieve. So there's going to be a need for you to set boundaries this week, and maybe this week is the week that you're going to start to set boundaries, pole number 1, to move forward. I wonder if it's this self-love that's making you realize how much you need to set boundaries, how important they are to you. Then we have Giraffe Spirit, and it says, see the big picture. And is that what you're going to be doing, pole number 1? Do you see a bigger picture of your life, of who you are, of how you're living? And I love that the giraffe is really facing us. It's looking at us, facing us head on. Its body's side on, but its head is straight looking at us. And I feel this is how you are going to look at your life, head on. You're going to see the reality of it, the truth of it. And again, I'm looking at this self-love. When we see ourselves truthfully, when we see our life truthfully, that's when we can make changes. When we get caught up in the illusion, then everything becomes distorted. And it's hard to see what we need to change because we're looking at our life through I want to say a pretend lens. We're looking through our life with how we judge it to be, how we perceive it to be with our fears and our doubts. Something's going to catch your attention, pole number 1, about you, about your life, about others around you. And it's really going to have you really looking at things. And, you know, maybe the first step is setting these boundaries. The next card is self-love. Show me how to love myself. Show me how to take care of the inner child. Show me how to be kind within. When you step into self-forgiveness, so much can change on the outside. And we're often led to believe that we shouldn't love ourselves, that it's conceited and it's showing off. But it's so important for our growth. It's so important for our health. When we truly love ourselves, it doesn't make us show off or boast. It's not, real self-love is not about that. And if you find yourself, or if you come across people that are boastful, that actually comes from insecurity. We boast, we try to pick ourselves up when we feel that we are lacking. And I feel, pole number 1, that this is you. You are going to realize your self-worth. You're going to realize how much of you there is to love. we're all so unique, and often we compare ourselves to others, which leads to two things. One, we'll find ourselves better than the other, and then that puts us in a self-love, but that's that boastful self-love. Or it makes us less than the other, and then that takes us further away from self-love. That's when we start to enter the we're not enough, we're not good enough. And that taken to the nth degree, that's self-hatred. So look at the way you love yourself, pole number 1. Look at how you talk to yourself. Look at how you nurture yourself, how you care for yourself. Are you kind? Are you compassionate? Are you loving towards yourself? Do you treat yourself like you would a loved one? Or do you treat yourself like you would treat a perfect stranger or somebody you just have no care for? It's going to really open you up to, looking at the tarot now, to possibilities and a change of life, change of heart and a change of life, a change of how you do things, how you see things, how you feel and think about things. You've got the Three of Pentacles, and the Three of Pentacles to me is very much the Apprentice card. It's very much the really doing something you love. You know, I always picture an apprentice as being passionate because they're learning something that they're really interested and keen about. And the Three of Pentacles for me also is the sharing a gift or talent or interest, a passion with others, in the service of others. So pole number 1, I'm inclined to ask you, in discovering this self-love, is there something that you love doing, that you see as a hobby or you see as not important and I'll do it when I get the time, but it's something that when you have a quiet moment it always comes back to you? Because maybe you need to zoom out and have a look at the bigger picture. Is it something that you can offer others? Is it something that you can turn into a job where you can actually make an income from it? Is it something that you can do on the side initially and then grow it little by little? But I get the feeling it will be of service to others. It will help others. And it's something that you want to do. It's something that really, and especially with the Ace of Wands here that I'm looking at now, you know, it's a natural ability, a natural talent that you have to cultivate. You might still need to learn a lot about it, but it's something that really interests you. It's the kind of thing that you'll look at YouTube, you know, you look at YouTubes about it to learn more about it, or you always pick up books regarding it, that kind of thing. Because you have the Ace of Wands here, and the Ace of Wands is the universe giving you a gift, and because it's a wand, it's a gift that is in line with your passions, your hopes, your dreams. This is your soul calling. So I often find that with the Ace of Wands, it's like a message that comes to you, an offer that comes to you that is in line with something that you are genuinely passionate about. And like I always say with the aces, the opportunity will come. Somebody will say something that will trigger an idea, but you've got to do something with it. So it's the gift that you have to grab, and you then manifest it into the world. If not, it just stays a dream. It just stays a wish. It'll always be that unfulfilled passion or drive. I was drawn to say earlier with these boundaries about asking people for quiet time, asking people for, you know, leave me for an hour and please don't disturb me, I just need some time. And I'm wondering if you've got something, you've seen something and it's given you ideas. You remember a long-held dream and you're starting to plan, how can I do something tangible with this? And you've got the Seven of Swords, and the card says, a loss of peace of mind or personal freedom. Take caution and be aware of others' actions. A material loss. Make sure you are being honest with yourself. Embarrassing secrets. Now, I often see the swords very differently to how most people read the Seven of Swords in tarot. For me, the Seven of Swords is being strategic. It's having a plan. It's not following others. Now, I like that the Seven of Wands is always depicted as in somebody stealing, as in somebody being sneaky. Because if you think about it, being strategic, seeing the loophole somewhere and taking advantage of it, as long as you hurt nobody, I don't see a harm in that. That's how we evolve. That's how we grow. If we follow the pack and they've decided to do not much, nothing progresses. I'm sorry, it's just started raining here in Perth, so if there's a bit of noise in the background, I apologise. I hope it's not too disturbing. But with the Seven of Swords, we have to take opportunities. That's what the aces are. They're an opportunity that comes to you. Are you going to take it? Or are you going to think, oh, well, there are so many people before me, I should really let them. But if they're not going to move on it, nothing happens. And I'm wondering if that's what this energy is for you, pole number one. You're just seeing where you can step up. Don't take more than you need. Don't be sneaky. But if an opportunity arises and it's aligned with you, your authentic you, take it. Go for it. If it's meant to be yours, you'll get it. If it's not meant to be yours, somebody else will. There's no competition. It might feel like there's competition, but there isn't. Because if you believe, you'll know that you can never get something meant for another. This is a beautiful reading, pole number 1. I feel like you're coming to a real understanding of who you are, what you want, and you're setting boundaries and you're taking steps to move in that direction. And that takes courage, that takes drive, that takes commitment, and that takes believing in yourself. It takes self-love. I'm going to leave you with those beautiful messages, pole number 1. Have a lovely, lovely week. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Hello, pole number 2. Let's have a look at what messages you have from Spirit for this week. I'm sorry about the noise. The rain has started again, so I apologise if it's a bit noisy. We have the Queen of Swords, the Knight of Wands, the Nine of Cups. We have distinguish the importance of your inner spiritual work from outer success. Oh, that's an interesting message. Overcome any obstacles and despair. Okay. Let's have a look at these energies for you. Okay, pole number 2. So your first card is distinguish the importance of your inner spiritual work from outer success. So basically, Spirit is saying sometimes when we embark on our spiritual work, on our spiritual path, on our soul's calling, it can often look in our reality, in the world that we live in, that we are stepping away from success. We're taking a step back. And I find that this reason is probably the biggest reason why people don't follow their soul calling. It's the biggest reason that people outside of you will try to talk you out of following your soul's journey. Because when you have a good job, a good life, you're comfortable, it seems crazy to uproot all that and go into the unknown. And pretty much every time, that's what the soul's journey is. It's really into the unknown. And a soul journey wants us to grow in the areas that I don't want to say, lacking is not the word that I'm looking for. What word am I looking for, Spirit? Can you help, please? It wants to work, we need to work on the aspects of ourselves that need healing, that need new understanding, and we need to work on our belief and our trust, not only in the universe, God, Spirit, but also in ourselves. So in order to build trust, that trust has to come into play. You know, if we ask for courage, we're going to be given situations where we need to demonstrate courage. And our soul's journey is really believing. It's really that trust. trust in something deeper than us that ultimately shows that there is more to us than this mind and body. It's what we call awakening. And I feel pole number 2 with the 9 of Cups here. Now this is achievement, this is comfort. This is, you've worked up to your 9 of Cups, you're satisfied. You could say you're chuffed with yourself, you know, you're happy. This is contentment. And I now understand where this despair card is, because I'm wondering if you're feeling a bit in despair because on some level you know you're being asked to give this up. Let's keep moving forward, pole number 2. You have Rhino Spirit, overcome any obstacles. And straight away, I'm just thinking of the numerology number 5. And that's your obstacle, pole number 2, is to change. It's to go on that adventure that your soul wants you to go on. Your obstacle is embracing the decision to move forward, to take a chance, to take risks. You know, numerology 5 is about surprises. It's that adventure. It's that finding yourself at a pivot point, and instead of taking the direction that feels comfortable and where you know what you're doing, you're taking the other road. That's an adventure. You don't know where it leads, but it involves movement. And there's a lot of opportunity linked in with the 5. But it's almost like we have to scare ourselves and then overcome those fears in order to see the opportunities, in order to be in a position where we can even think about taking them. And I feel that pole number 2, your obstacles are really within you. They might play out with other people or in situations to make you more aware of them, but it's not gonna take you long to figure out that the situations in your life that are not really working that well, it's not because of others. And I mean, it's never because of others. It's always because of something we need to learn and move forward on. But I think you're going to realize that you're creating these obstacles so you can stay where you are. It's almost like then you've got a reason to not move forward, if that makes sense for your pole number 2. And then you have despair, and the card says, I need your divine intercession right now. O Great Spirit, lift this darkness from my soul, free me from this burden, open me to your highest plan. May I be a peaceful vessel for your love. And that's knowing that we don't have the courage. And pole number 2, we all fall into this. You know, we get on a roll and we feel like, oh, we can do this, we've got this, we understand. And then something will creep in and we'll go back into the doubt and into the, oh my gosh, what am I doing? I don't want to do this. I'm just so afraid. I don't know what I'm doing. Ask for help. Ask that your burdens be lightened. Ask for clarity. This reminds me, pole number 2, of I had like a little, it was on my desktop background, just a few words, and I had it on my desktop for on and off pretty much a year, and it said, "Show me the next steps, dear Lord, and turn me into the one who can take them." And I'm pretty sure it came off of one of these cards, or I tweaked it a little bit, but the idea, I think, came from one of these cards. And these cards is the Wild Offering. The Wild Offering Oracle by Tosha Silver. And sometimes that's what we need. We need to be shown the path, but we need to be the person who can physically take the step. If you like affirmations, mantras when you meditate, write some down that fuel this, giving you courage to take the next step, showing you what this next step is, turning you into the person who can take it. I feel that would be really beneficial for you, pole number 2, because the Knight of Wands is here. And I love that the Knight of Wands is facing away from the the Knight of Wands is facing away from the Nine of Cups. And I love that, because the Knight of Wands is passionate, and he takes his passions and he goes for it. The Knights in the tarot for me are always the action. And the Knights are always taking action. And the Knight of Wands is not as fast as the Knight of Swords, but he's fast. You know, that horse is moving. And he's driven to move away from what doesn't align with his dream, his goal. The Knight of Wands goes on that adventure. It takes the 5 and it runs with it. And I feel that's what, it might take a bit of a journey. It might take a little bit of feeling a bit stuck and then moving forward a bit until you get to, a doubt, an obstacle. And then you'll find yourself, I don't want to do this anymore. But you will. You will. The Nine of Cups, like I said earlier, is that you're comfortable. You've achieved. You're successful. And when our life is horrible, it's so easy to want to change it, isn't it? When everything's falling apart and not going right, we kind of think, oh, yep, ready for a change. Unfortunately, that's not how the journey of our life works. When we're in the turmoil of changing our life, when everything seems to not be going right, that's because we're already in the middle of a journey. We've already left a previous comfort zone and we've moved forward, and so things are changing and things feel unsettled and they feel wrong. And then when we get towards the end of that journey, we get back to this. The Nine of Cups, where we've achieved, we've grown, we've evolved on an internal level, but our external world generally reflects that. And that's when we're called again to move forward. Don't despair, pole number 2, at having to leave this comfort zone. Because I'll ask you to remember previous journeys. We always end up in a place that is better. That doesn't mean that we end up in a place where there's always more money, always more prosperity. Sometimes it can just be that we are happier with ourselves. But that's probably even more important. And our journeys bring us to different things. Sometimes it's a real growth in our being, and therefore we might not see a lot of prosperity in our life, a lot of abundance in our life. But if we look inside ourselves, that's where the abundance is. It's the abundance in our self-love. It's the abundance in how we see the world, how we feel about others. And then the next journey might bring us to more prosperity. And then the next one might just be more internal learning. So it's always something different. And it'll be something different for all of you, pole number 2. But I love how we finish the reading on the Queen of Swords. The card says brilliant, experienced, humorous, judgmental, releasing situations or people that no longer serve you, seeing the humor in difficult situations, focusing on career, divorced or unmarried individuals. So in your reading, pole number 2, the Queen of Wands is cutting through that despair. It's cutting through those obstacles that you see in order to block you. It's obstacles. It's almost like self-sabotage in a way. It's what we tell ourselves to keep ourselves stuck. The Queens for me is all about receiving. It's a very receiving energy. And the Queen of Swords, she receives clarity. She receives understanding. And she receives those so she can cut all the things in her life that don't serve her. And she can look at herself clearly enough to see what part of herself she needs to finish, do away with, cut out. What holds her back? What mindsets? What beliefs? What habits? What commitments does she have that no longer resonate with who she's become? Spirit is saying, look at all those things, pole number 2, because you need to move forward. I'm going to leave you with those messages, pole number 2. Love and light, my friends. Have a wonderful week. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Hello, pole number 3. Welcome to your weekly reading. Let's have a look at what messages Spirit has for you this week. So we have the Page of Cups, the Page of Swords, and the Four of Wands. Oh, I like that. New beginnings. We have work daily towards improving your mental health. That's interesting. We have the Panther Spirit, reclaim your power, and we have gratitude. Nice. I like where this is going. Poll number 3, let's have a look. So work daily towards improving your mental health. This is watching how your mind affects you, how your thoughts affect you. How do you talk to yourself? What do you think about yourself? Our mental health is so important because our mind is so powerful that when it goes off the rails a little bit, it can really affect our life on all levels. And this is finding ways to relax our mind, finding ways to quiet our mind. You know, do you meditate? Do you give yourself quiet time every day? This can also be, are you at a point where you might need help? Sometimes our thoughts, our emotions can get so much ahead of us that we're in the mud, we're in the dark of how to work through or past this. I'm really feeling a sense of find peace in your day every day. I'm also being asked, poll number 3, so this won't apply to everybody, but for those of you that are working like crazy, you need to stop. You need to bring your work-life balance back into play, back into balance, back into equal grounds. And I really, this is a very strong message that's come through. So for some of you, you'll know who you are. We're moving into a time where that's not going to be asked of us anymore. I know it still is. So many of us work too much. There's no balance in it. And we feel like we're not pulling our weight. We feel like we're lazy or slack if we don't do overtime and work lots and lots. But we're moving away from that. See how you manage your time. Can you do less but be more methodical when you're doing something? You know, forget this multitasking. That's all been proven to it doesn't work. And in actual fact, it actually slows down how quickly you can do something. So look at how you engage your mind. Look at what you're asking it to do. Are you making it jump from one thing to another and then getting annoyed because it can't keep up? I feel this card is really, really important in your reading, poll number 3. I wonder if some of you are approaching burnout. And this is a reading to kind of say, hey, just maybe slow down. And the next card is kind of in keeping with that. We've got the Panther Spirit, and it says reclaim your power. Now, when we are in our power, it's not we're not dominating over anybody else. We're not dominating over ourselves. When we reclaim our power, it's not a control thing. Having power doesn't mean you have control over yourself or over others. It's actually quite it's not exactly the opposite, but it kind of is. When you are in your power, you don't work you don't work ridiculous hours. You don't feel that you have things to prove. You take pride in your work, you take pride in yourself, you take pride in your life, but you allow yourself mistakes. You allow yourself to be tired. You allow yourself to rest. You can say to yourself, I've done well today. I remember, I'm not going to remember exactly how the quote went, but I remember years ago reading a book, and it said something along the lines of, oh gosh, now I can't even remember, but it was, oh jeepers, it's just literally gone from my mind. Never mind, it might come back to me. Maybe that's Spirit's way of saying move along. Spending too much time on a card maybe. But reclaiming your power is being, oh, thank you, it's just come back to me. So it's do your best 100% of the time. But know that your best is not always coming from a place of you being 100%. So let me explain. If you don't feel well one day, you'll be operating at 30% of your capacity. So then operate at that 100%, which is 30%. So however you're feeling, operate at that full percentage. If you're really sick and you're bedridden, you might be at 5-10% of your capacity. That's your 100%. And if we come at every situation from that position, we are always doing our best. And that's claiming our power. Oh, I'm so glad I remembered about that 100% because I felt like it was important. And I think this claiming your power is important. I'm quite keen to go to the tarot because this tarot energy, when I'm looking at it at a glance, doesn't really match with the energy up there. So it'll be interesting where we're guided in the reading. And then you have gratitude. And the card says, find just one thing that you feel grateful for right now and let that gratitude pour through your body. It's a healing balm, like the warmth of the sun. And when we are in our power, when we understand and we're comfortable with ourselves, when we know our worth, when we understand our limitations, we find we do come into a place of gratitude because we're not fighting all the time to be better, to, push ourselves to do more and more. That's where our mental health suffers. Because when we're always pushing to do more, we're not enough. It takes so much mental willpower to force ourselves when we just don't have anything left to give. And sometimes we need to be okay with that and find gratitude in where we are. And if we are honest, if we are open, we will always find something to be grateful for, always. I'm very interested, pole number 3, to know what's going on with you. Where are you at? I feel that there's maybe been a lot of change in your life. And I think are you grasping at straws, I want to say. You've got two pages here, and pages is the possibility. It's also the newness. Pages have a possibility to move forward with something, but they often don't know how, or it's often seen as the planning stage. You know, it's the stage before the knights, where the knights take action. They can see the steps to take. The pages almost can't see the steps. It's still the idea, the notion. And you have the Page of Swords, which I think is beautiful with this mental health card, because the Page of Swords is your intellect. It's your ideas. Are your ideas taking you down a path that you can't see how it's going to come about or turn out? And does it have you feeling quite anxious? I'll read the Page of Cups. It says, sensitive, open-hearted, inexperienced, moody, messages regarding relationships, new emotional experiences, a romantic encounter, social invitations or events, heightened psychic abilities. And often with the Page of Cups in the Rider-Waite Tarot, there's a fish in the cup, and the page is looking at the fish. So it's imagination, it's dreaming. You know, you don't expect a fish to come out of a cup. So it's a little bit of a surprise. Are your dreams changing? And are you still holding on to your old dreams, or trying to? Are you fearful of what these new dreams, hopes, or wishes are going to mean for you? Remember, this is the beginning of this journey, of this idea, of this dream. You can't know everything yet. You can't even see at this stage, I don't believe, how you're going to bring it about. I don't even feel, pole number 3, that you have become the person that you need to be in order to fulfill this dream. You're going to get there. This dream is going to have you questioning. I really feel inclined to say everything about yourself. What you think about yourself, how you see yourself, what you're grateful for, what you even see as worthy of being grateful for. And then we've got the Four of Wands. And the Four of Wands is a real celebration card. It's a real joyous card. And for me, it's walking through the door. It's that portal to your next journey. And I always find when the Four of Cups comes into a reading, I kind of really get the message that whatever this is, this dream, these wishes, this idea, that you are going to walk through the door. You are going to start this journey. You're going to take it. You're going to go on it. And the Four of Wands also, with the people in the background, it always tells me that you are going to find what you need to help you on this journey. So you'll have the resources if you need them. You'll have the people if you need them. You'll have the ideas, the notions, the downloads from spirit that you need. You'll have messages and guidance that comes to you, and that you'll know how to take. You'll know how to hear. Pole number 3 with the Four of Wands here. However you might be feeling about this new journey, and your Page of Cups is emotions. Your Cups is emotions, and your Swords is your mind. So you might be feeling really emotional and really like hamster wheel mind. There might be a lot of worry, and maybe that's what this mental health is. It's like your mind's going to be really overactive because these emotions are really going to play on you. But I think through understanding your power and your worth and being grateful for everything that you have, because I feel that very quickly along this new journey, pole number 3, you're going to have those ideas, people, resources, guidance, that very quickly you're going to see, oh my gosh, I didn't know how I was going to do that. I didn't know how that was going to work out. And you're going to get information along the way, which is going to help you keep moving forward. So you're going to have a lot to be grateful for, and you're not going to have to search deep within you to find, okay, what am I grateful for today? You're going to, something will happen, you're going to be like, oh, I'm so grateful. It's that kind of energy. You will be afraid, pole number 3, because this is a big change, or you can see that this is going to be a big change in your life, but you're going to do it anyway. Meditate, have quiet moments where you can really relax your mind. Do some exercise, go get a massage. Do things for you that really make you feel calm and give you energy. Beautiful new journey, pole number 3. I'm going to leave you with those messages. Love and light, my friends. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Welcome, pole number 4, to your weekly reading. Let's have a look at what messages Spirit has for you this week. We have the Knight of Pentacles, the Five of Cups, and the Knight of Swords. Wow, these two knights couldn't get any more opposite in energy. That's very interesting. We have avoid hateful thoughts, as they are just as hurtful as physically striking someone. That's interesting energy, pole number 4. We have make your dreams real, and we have ambition. Interesting energy. Let's have a look where this is guiding us. Okay. So, pole number 4. First card is avoid hateful thoughts, as they are just as hurtful as physically striking someone. And we are now starting to realize how emotional and mental abuse is just as damaging as physical abuse. Now, pole number 4, I'm not saying that's what you're doing, and I can see where this is going, so I'll just reassure you on that level. But it's making us aware that hateful thoughts damage others, but they damage us even more. And we all have them. There is nobody out there that doesn't have a hateful thought every now and again. I feel that that's part of being a human. You know, a thought can jump into our head before we can do anything with it, you know, before we can stop it. And I don't feel that that's what needs to be overcome, because we're not our thoughts. We can have thoughts about everything. It doesn't mean that's who we are or what we are, not at all. But do we run with the thought? What do we do with those hateful thoughts, with those negative thoughts? And I feel that that's what this card is asking of you, pole number 4. And it's quite full on. This message is quite full on, well, to me anyway. But I think it's to kind of make us go, what? So that we really pay attention to our thoughts. Do you run with those thoughts? You know, do you have a hateful thought and then do you build a whole story around it that is not based in reality? Do you run with those thoughts and turn that person into something that they are not? Do you do that about yourself? Do you have hateful thoughts that are geared towards yourself? And then do you build scenarios around that? But you are not that. And that's where our thoughts can be so damaging, because we run with them and we build scenarios with them. We make up discussions with people and have our mind answers for that person, and we make that person say lots of horrible things to us, and they never said that. It's our thoughts that are doing that. And it's very damaging, because it's taking that next step towards damaging relationships that might not be going well. But with these thoughts, and by running with them and building scenarios and building conversations all in our head, the next time we see that person, the next time we're in that situation, all we have to do is look at them and we're mad. We're angry. We're already hurt. We're already ready to defend ourselves. It's quite interesting. This week has been a lot about what are we thinking about others, about ourselves. And it's really, really time to look at how damaging that can be. And we have the spider spirit, and it says, make your dreams real. And that's where this is coming from, these hateful thoughts. Because I feel, pole number 4, you've started your journey of, like, you're already into your journey. You're not in a beginning stage. this dream you've had for a while, you've had the ambition of it for a while. You know, you're already at the stage of the knights. You've already started to let things go. You've had endings in your life already. So this is not a beginning journey that you're on. You've already been on it for a while. And when we start a journey, especially when it's in line with our soul, more often than not, the majority of people around us will not understand this new journey. And that's where these hateful thoughts might come in, because you're trying to achieve your dreams. You are going between fear, sadness, worry, despair, and then straight into, yes, I'm going to do this. This is great. Full charge ahead. Going to knock out anybody that gets in my way. Because the Knight of Swords sees the possibility. He knows that he can make his dreams come true, and he's just charging for it. He's just going for it. He's ambitious and he's driven. When we want to make our dreams come true, we always come up against the naysayers. We always come up against, well, sometimes when we're actually starting to, especially if you're starting to manifest your dream, maybe jealousy. Or maybe people are trying to block your way because they don't understand. Or maybe they're not, but that's how you see them. It could be pole number 4 because there's more to let go of. No, actually, I'm going to say that now because I'm going to forget. So I'm going to skip this ambition. I'm going to come down straight to the 5 of Cups because I'll forget. But maybe these hateful thoughts are because there is more to let go of. And when we let go of things, it's easier to let go of things if there's anger attached to it. If we've decided, you know what, I don't like that person. I'm going to fight with them. I'm going to make this situation horrible, and then I'll have less sadness, less despair at leaving it behind. It sounds silly that we have to bring in more pain in order to feel like it's going to be less painful. But again, we're human. And we're almost more okay to be angry than we are to feel sad. Anger fuels us. Anger gives us the strength to charge. Sadness, no. Your sadness doesn't make us passionate. Anger makes us passionate. We often find that we don't stand up for ourselves unless we're angry. And in sadness, do you feel that everybody will walk all over you? Whereas if you make yourself mad, if you have these hateful thoughts, you're going to be able to be more forceful. You'll have a reason, or you will feel like you have a reason. But unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. Being angry makes us react instead of just responding. It's okay to let things go and be sad. We don't always have to let things go because we hate them, or because we hate the person, or because we're angry. We've had enough, I'm done, and walk away. You know, sometimes an ending is just understanding that that's not what I want anymore. But I don't have to hate the job. I don't have to hate the person. I don't have to hate the situation. I don't have to hate myself in order to just be able to let it go. We'll go back to this ambition card. So ambition. May I offer all my deepest longings to love itself and invite a divine plan beyond the mind's imagining. Please use me for the highest good. We often see ambitious, oh, they're so ambitious, they're going to walk all over everybody. We don't see ambition for what it is, but I find how it's written in this card is really beautiful. I'm going to read that again. May I offer all my deepest longings to love itself and invite a divine plan beyond the mind's imagining. Please use me for the highest good. And that's what you're doing, pole number 4. It's your soul's plan. It drives you more than any worldly ambition you can have. This is ambition that's pure of heart. This is ambition that your soul is driving you towards. And it's this type of ambition, it's this type of calling that is really difficult to explain to others. And it can bring up a lot of defensiveness, a lot of hatefulness, a lot of anger towards the people that we shared a part of our life with, or we're sharing a part of our life with, and they don't understand, or we can feel that they're falling away from our life. I'm saying people, but that can be situations, that's your beliefs, your understandings. So after the 5 of Cups, we have the Knight of Swords. And like I mentioned earlier, he's charging. He knows so clearly what he's trying to do. And he's not going to let anybody stop him. Now with the Knight of Swords, as with most cards, it's two-sided. So harness this clarity. Harness what you're trying to do. Have this dream so clear in your mind's eye. But don't feel you have to push everybody aside. Don't feel you have to go fast or you'll lose your momentum. Give yourself time to think. And that's where the Knight of Pentacles comes in. The card says loyal, dedicated, protective, apprehensive. Plan carefully before taking action, but then get going. Pay attention to the details. Wait for perfect timing. A guardian angel or someone who watches over you. Now, like I said at the very beginning, these energies are pretty much opposite. You know, in the Rider-Waite, the King of Pentacles is at a standstill. He's not moving at all. And that can be, again, like, you know, there's duality in all the cards, really. And in these two cards, you know, the Knight of Pentacles can get a bit bogged down in the details. He can get so caught up in the, okay, if I can do it like this and I can do it like that, and what about this, that he never actually takes the first step. And the Knight of Swords just jumps on his horse and starts going before he's even 100% sure that he's heading in the right direction. So with both these cards, it's a beautiful balance. It's a being in this Knight of Swords ready to take action, but also having a game plan, tweaking along the way, readjusting, but never losing sight of your dream, never losing sight of what's driving you. But you don't have to rush. This energy, I mean, it's air energy, but, you know, it can just blow itself out. It can lose its, and it goes so fast, so quick. I mean, it's not fire energy where it like burns itself out. But you know, the wind has a way of moving a storm very quickly. You know, a gust of wind can do great damage, and then you're left with what's left. So you want to move, but be mindful of how you're moving. And this energy might make you a little hot-headed as well. It might make you a little bit too quick to strike down whatever's in your path. Whoever doesn't agree, whoever can't see your vision. And don't be afraid, pole number 4, if you feel sadness, if you feel regret, if you feel just even down in the dumps, don't try to turn that into anger. Don't try to turn that into fuel. And the way you'll turn that into fuel is by turning it into anger towards others, or even towards yourself, towards life. No. Pole number 4, feel the sadness, feel the regret, feel the disappointment, but still move on, still hold on to your dream. I'm going to leave you with those messages, pole number 4. Love and light, my friends. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.